Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Week in Crime and Policing with DeMayo and Maysonet. My name is Mark DeMayo, and this is my partner in all things law enforcement, Angel Maysonet. And today we are here to talk about all the crime stories that have made headline news in the past week. But before we do that, we'll start off by catching up with Angel and then with the people that have been kind enough to join us in the chat. What's up, Angel? How are you?
What's up, Mark? What's going on?
It's 90 degrees here. It's just like clockwork. Everybody kept telling me um, it's gonna happen quick, and it sure did, man. I
It
woke
happened.
yesterday was beautiful. It was 80. Today it's 90, and
So,
next week is probably gonna be 100, and then it starts.
so the burning question: Are your man boobs sweating? Do you have like a little mark under your tetas?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
I'm not sweating yet, but I'm a little bit nervous, man. That's the one thing everybody makes sure that they remind you about. They're always like, "Have you been here through a summer yet?"
Yeah, but it's dry heat though. It's not
No,
like
but that's
Florida
the thing.
humidity.
That's the thing. They say at least when you get wet, when you're in humidity, like you're sweating, whatever. Over here, it's like you just stuck your head in the oven, and that's it. You just stay there. So we'll see.
Mm,
I'll keep giving you updates. Um,
you don't have
Other
to.
than that, happy Easter to
I really,
everybody.
I really don't care. You don't have to, but okay, I'll take the
No, I'll
updates.
give updates. I'll let you know what is. I'm sure everybody on the East Coast really wants to know what it's like here. So
Yeah, we love. I love my friends from Florida when there's a snowstorm and they send me, "Oh yeah, we're going to the beach today." Don't be
nah,
that guy.
I ain't that guy,
All
man.
right, don't be
That
that guy.
annoys me. But
Yeah.
once in a while, you do it once a year. That's okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Pick and
yeah, yeah,
choose
yeah,
your
yeah.
spots. But I know people on social media that they do it. That's their one running
Oh,
joke.
it's all the time. It's stupid. Yeah, it's not even a joke anymore. It's
Yeah.
like you want to strangle them, you know. Um,
What have you been
you want
up
to say
to?
hi? I'm good. Working. Work's been busy. They released that movie that I told you about, How to Blow Up a Pipeline. So that's been taking us a little, giving us a little run for our money as far as logistics go and
Where is
planning and
this
stuff.
movie?
It was all over. They released it.
I gotta check it out. I have every channel that you can possibly
Well,
put.
listen, I don't want to promote it, so don't go watch it.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get it on your Fire Stick, on your illegal jailbroken Fire Stick, if you have one, do
Okay,
that.
I'll check it out. I'll look for it tonight.
So been busy with that, and then preparing for the fundraiser for my school board seat tomorrow. We're gonna have first responders night here in town, and we're gonna try to raise some money because I'm running for school board. One of the three seats that are open, myself and two other people on my team. So you know, doing that,
Did they tell you how much
and
you're gonna need about?
how much money?
Yeah.
Nah, the money's not the issue. It's I got to get the petition signed so I could officially run. I got to get 60 signatures and I got 50 already. So
Oh, that's pretty good. You want me to sign it?
you can't. You don't vote here.
Oh, okay.
I'm not. We're not Democrats here. We're not fixing the election.
Just as
We're
long as you don't use that. What's that? That booth? That photo
we're
booth?
conservatives. We're not using Dominion. We're not going to be using Dominion to count
Yeah.
anything.
All right. Good. I
Let's
hope
not
not.
listen. Let's not say too much because they'll sue us like they
Yeah.
suing Fox. So and I don't have money to give away.
Yeah. Me neither do
So
I.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You want to say hi to everyone in the chat?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Start it off.
So, Little Mermaid, of course, faithful Louisa. Hello, Louisa.
Hi,
Welcome, welcome,
Louisa.
welcome. 3 weeks now. Your nephew's been home. I want to say so. Hopefully, he's doing well and he's getting the help he needs. God bless. Milwaukee civilian Angel. If you are a big Rican man, then why can't Mark be Checano like Chicano? Freddie Prinz was the
Toscano. Yeah. That's.
Hungarian.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
He's
make
nice.
this Mark's wouldn't this make Mark's hot mom and socialist father of blessed memory happy?
You know.
He's definitely paying attention. We could say that.
Yeah, man. That's actually pretty clever, Chescano.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Why not?
Um,
Che-
Checano. It's not
Chicano.
Chescano. It's Czech because you're not Czechoslovakian.
I am
I
half.
thought I thought you were Greek and
No,
fucking
no, no,
Dominican.
no. I'm half Czech, half Dominican.
Oh shit! So look, Milwaukee civilians paying more attention than I am. Go
Yeah,
figure.
my ex-wife, she was Greek. I got baptized Greek.
You're Greek by enveloption, not by injection.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, that's actually all this time, 25 years of thinking of a funny way to say my combine the two.
Yeah, it's pretty clever. Milwaukee
I
Civilians
got 'em.
bailing out on us again at 6:15. So he's got to get it. Sadly, I need to leave at 6:15. Mark's right. I need to get back to my job as a sex worker. Nice.
Mhm.
Let's go to Raquela. Hello, darling. Raquela Pranzo's in the chat. Hello, hello, hello. Jojo, what's up, Jojo? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Who else we got? Mary Goldstein. What
Hi,
up,
Mary.
Mary? What up, gentle dudes? What's going on? We got who else we got? Who else we got? Where's the Lieutenant Peter? The Mister. The
It's
Mister
probably
to Raquela's Missus.
it's probably
Oh, there
getting
he is. There he is. There he is. I got him.
barbecue started.
Peter Pranzo. Hey, Mark and Angel and good friends. What's up, LT? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Who else? That's what we got so far. Our loyal listeners,
All
viewers.
right, so why don't we hit the ground running?
Let's
Another
go.
week, another mass shooting. This time it takes
Mm.
place in Louisville at the Old National Bank. 4 dead, 8 injured, including a police officer who was shot in the head.
A rookie
Police
police
officer.
officer who had graduated the academy on March 31st.
Yeah, man. I mean, talk about getting put right into the fire. There he goes. Louisville police officer Nicholas Wilt was shot by a gunman during a mass shooting at a bank on Monday. He graduated from the police academy, like you said, on March 31st. Wow. He's been
Shot in the
really
head. So he had surgery. They said the next 24 hours are going to be critical. But I mean, listen, we
so
got to pray for this kid. I mean, and all the victims of this horrible.
yeah, please keep William in your Nicholas Wilt in your prayers, folks. This is the gunman this time. Where is he? Looks like a decent kid, man. I don't know what the hell happened to him. Louisville banker shooter identified as 23-year-old Connor Sturgeon. He's been engrossed in all this nonsense that if you look at this is his LinkedIn page. He goes by the pronouns he, him. Well, isn't it safe to just you don't have to put he, him if you're not want to, if you're not.
It's they're ingratiated, man. It's just it's at least he's 23, right? Men, especially men, that we don't develop our front lobes completely until we're like 27, if I'm accurate. So it's ingratiating these kids. They don't. It's thrown at them constantly. People sign it, their emails with it. Celebrities use it on their social media pages. Government uses it in their social media pages now. The White House is hiring social media influencers now. They're going to give them their own media war room now. These social media influencers because they're using TikTok as a huge part of this. So huge part of their advertising for them. So it's crazy.
I thought they were looking to get rid of TikTok.
No, they're not. They're not.
Well, that's a good thing if they're not looking to get really get rid of TikTok. Then that whole bill that they have, hopefully the Senate won't pass it because there's a lot of things in that bill like no VPNs.
Yeah, they're looking to basically control our social media. I mean, to be honest with you, I think that's
it
what
does need to be controlled, but there has to be VPNs because law enforcement uses VPNs.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just
you're
for
right.
that reason alone.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know what this kid's problem was with the bank, but he was employed there or used to be employed there. He was there bright and early. What did you say? He was there before the bank opened today?
Yeah, apparently he was there before the bank even opened, according to my lovely bride. And he must have been he must have had there must have been an issue, right? He was probably gonna get fired or disciplined or something. In my line of work, right, the corporate security, we're constantly preparing for terminations or discipline hearings because people are prone to freak out, right? They used to call it going postal. Now it's not even, it doesn't even apply. It's everyone. So that sucks, man. It's horrible.
Yeah, well, pray for those people. And it's just what kind of world are we living in, man? And this is in Louisville. There was another shooting actually in Louisville today too.
Yeah, it was like 2 miles from the bank, no?
All right, let's see this. This is a really sad story. The saddest story before the one that I just read. San Francisco surveillance video illustrates agony of city crime in Bob Lee's final moments. Bob Lee was the founder of Cash App, a billionaire.
Oh yeah,
And
this is
for
definitely
some
bad.
reason, he was wandering around, walking up and down the streets over there in San Francisco, in a ritzy area, by the way. And he found himself uh, confronted by somebody who eventually stabbed him a couple times, 3 times in the chest. He leaves behind 2 kids. And the funny thing is that he left San Francisco to move his family to Hawaii because it was too dangerous. Lee left San Francisco from Miami. I said Hawaii, Miami, in October, and had voiced concerns about public safety in his former home. So that is a tragedy right there.
Yeah, it's
Um,
horrible. I mean, like you said, he left. He came back, I think, for a function for one of his friends, and he ends up getting killed. And people are filming it instead of helping him. He even walked up to a car apparently and was asking for help and raised his shirt and showed his stab wounds, and the car sped off. Nobody helped.
yeah, man, I got video of that, him walking around, and let's see. Nope, that's not it. One day, I'll get it right. Where are we? Bobby Lee. This is him wandering
This
around.
video obtained by DailyMail.com is exactly what
He
investigators
collapses
are
right
looking
there.
for. CCTV capturing tech titan Bob Lee moments after he was stabbed early Tuesday in San Francisco. At 2:35 in the morning, the injured 43-year-old appeared to be trying to wave down a passing car, which drove away before Lee comes clearly into view outside the doors
Oh
of a
my God, he's
condominium
stumbling.
complex.
365 Main, crossing of Folsom and Harrison. For a stabbing.
Lee, according to the San Francisco Standard, dialed 911 and screamed, "Help, someone stabbed me."
That cell phone is a critical piece of evidence in a case like this.
San Francisco's DA, Brooke Jenkins, says detectives are looking at every angle.
When we are dealing with a case where the suspect is unknown, you are trying to interview anyone and everyone who may have had contact with the victim leading up to the time of the crime.
Lee, perhaps best known for creating the mobile payment service Cash App, was a tech icon who lived in San Francisco for years before recently moving to Miami. Police scouring the neighborhood Lee knew well for any potential clues.
Well, there you have it, man. I mean, you can't even be a billionaire. If a billionaire can't buy you, having $1 billion can't buy you safety. I don't know.
That's it's horrible, man. I mean, I hadn't seen that video before. It's pretty disturbing. Um, Listen, I mean, the guy, he was a family man. He probably didn't want to be walking around bodyguards all the time. He probably was randomly targeted, right? So he probably didn't think he had to have bodyguards with him. I mean, I don't know. It's just disgusting, man. Horrible.
Yeah, it's supposed to be one of their better neighborhoods. San Francisco, it used to be like just a beautiful place. Everybody talked about it, going to visit, um, the fun that you could have there. And now they've just let the thing. And I don't understand what is the motive behind it. Why not just let the cops hire cops again, pay them a good salary, let them do their jobs. And why are we destroying these cities all over the country? There has to be a
They're
purpose.
worried. They're worried about giving reparations, and they don't want to pay police officers. It doesn't make sense.
They're not going
Listen,
to be able to give reparations. Where's the money going to come from? The
exactly.
dumbest thing
That's
I
the
ever
thing.
heard of.
But that so and in this whole woke, I hate to continue to use it because it's such a it's nauseating because you constantly hear the term woke, and before being woke was kind of positive. It was kind of a positive thing, right? Like you're aware of your surroundings, you have empathy, you have a little bit of emotional intelligence. Now it's just about being a cuck, right? Being a fucking supplicating to people because of their skin color or because of their culture. It's just it's stupid, and they think in their deluded versions of reality that being woke and forgiving minorities for being minorities, and it's not your fault that you were born with your skin color and your ancestors were slaves or whatever the case may be. that it's going to solve society's problems, and it's not. It's not.
I don't know, man. I agree with what you said. It's just part of me thinks to myself, man, if you had $1 billion, you feel like, okay, I don't have to worry about getting killed anymore. You should be walking around with some type of security and a doctor. If you have $1 billion, okay, let's say you don't want the security. Then I have a team. Like I have a whole. If I have $1 billion, I have surgeons walking behind me. Like
Who the fuck? Who wants to live like that? You got a bunch of
with kids, just in case I choke, I get a heart attack or something. We're talking about they can operate on me right there in the street. There's a bed following me. There's nurses. I want.
What
at
if-
least there's a triage team, 10 people.
What if you overdose on Viagra? You think they'll be able to save you?
Yeah, of course they will. You can't overdose, can you? Why are you scared?
There's only one way to find out.
Hey, listen, if you need more than one pill, that's God's way of telling you to stop. You know?
Oh yeah. How did we get here? How did we go down that rabbit hole? Oh yeah. Poor
Okay,
guy.
let's
We're talking about
there's another crazy story, man, and thank God, hopefully this here we go. Detectives Markey and
Oh,
Wallace.
this savage.
It sounds like doesn't it sound like a team from like the next
It does.
Detective Markey and Wallace? Yeah. They're up. Are they up to no good again? Where are they? Detective
Go get Markey and Wallace in my office right now. Yeah. Oh yeah.
They walked the violent criminal who shot our brother, police officer, to justice. David Spraggins is charged with
Devin. Get the savage's name right.
Devin Savage Spraggins is
go.
charged with attempted murder after the shooting in Queens on Wednesday in the 103. There was no doubt that the greatest detectives in the world. Yeah, they apprehended this animal through a social media. Let's. I got a video on that too. This is Cash App. Tyler Monk. So here we go. How social media led to his arrest.
Oh, Bill Ritter, my favorite guy.
That rookie New York cop in Queens on Wednesday.
22-year-old Devin Spraggins just faced a judge in New York. Wait till you hear how police were able to track him down.
Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles is live at the courthouse in Kew Gardens. Darla?
Sade, Bill, that suspect, Devin Spraggins, again, was just arraigned within the last hour or so, and he had to face almost 100 officers from the 103 precinct. That is the precinct where Brett Bowler is assigned, and they were all here after he was tracked down via social media.
We cannot get used to the fact that police officers are getting attacked and shot.
A blue wave of NYPD officers filing into the Queens County Courthouse Friday afternoon, coming face to face with 22-year-old Devin Spraggins. He's charged with the attempted murder of rookie officer Brett Bowler.
We're grateful that this judge remanded this perp because he's proved time and time again that he has no regard for life.
You can hear the intensity of the NYPD Fugitive Task Force as they take him into custody Thursday night.
By the time I looked at it, there were so many cops and everybody was just flashing lights and saying, hold it there, and that's all I see. Then they asked us to please move from the windows, and we moved from the windows.
Police say he is seen in this surveillance video 2 days ago, shooting at Officer Brett Bowler and then striking him in the hip. He fled while a group of officers had to rush the rookie cop to the hospital. Investigators then tracking Spraggins to this parking garage and next to a home in Queens.
Computer workups on that residence revealed persons who had social media accounts. Detectives were able to quickly identify a possible match to our shooter.
Spraggins wasn't there, but police say the shoes worn during the shooting were. They quickly tracked him then to this basement apartment of the Wakeville section of the Bronx, where they also recovered a gun.
We saw our neighbor who lives there coming out with her.
I mean, that kid. Where does he have a gun on him? If that's what he was wearing, he's got a T-shirt on with sweatpants. Where is this gun being kept?
It could have been. He could have had it in his pocket. He could have had a clip and had it, in his waist. I mean, Listen, first of all, great job by the cops on the scene. They returned his partner returned fire. They tourniquet. They put a tourniquet on him. He was shot in the hip. Took him right in the van. Got him right to the hospital, less than a mile away. Good job by those cops. Good job by the detectives in the case. Good job by the violent felony task force, right? Apprehension team. Good job by everybody. You know,
Great job. Great job.
this is another one of these cases. You know, the rare case where the black shooter is taken alive without incident. You know, people always say, "Oh, well, you know, every time a black guy does a shooting, the cops kill him." You know, not the case. Obviously, it's stupid. But here we go. We have another case where this guy shot a cop, and the cops took him into custody. And the first thing this moron, this savage, does is give the finger to the reporters as they were asking him why he did it when he was coming out of the cell. So, I mean, listen, he's a savage, and hopefully they keep him in prison where he belongs for the rest of his miserable life.
I mean, we both know the walkout is for spontaneous utterances. But if you catch a spontaneous physical gesture showing that you can play in court in the future that this kid doesn't care that he just shot a cop. He's, he's defiant.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect him.
Yeah.
This guy, Brett Bowler, we're going to pray, add him to our list of people to pray for tonight. 2 cops so far. And, he's a hero. And this other kid, Devin,
his dad is on the job. Yeah,
I worked with a Sergeant Bowler.
Yeah, his dad is on the. I think he's a detective.
This guy was a sergeant. Now he's
I think he's a
lieutenant. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this guy's a detective. Listen.
I don't know.
Two cops in Wisconsin were killed day before yesterday on a car stop. We had this cop who's in critical condition in the Louisville bank robbery or bank mass shooting. Another one of them was shot, but he's gonna supposedly be okay. He's in stable condition. We had this kid that was shot. I mean, it's happening all over the country, all the time.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? Check this out. It's not funny. It's sad. Study: over 72% of New York City violent crime suspects freed without bail go on to commit more crimes. 72%. That's an
Those are recidivists.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's recidivism right there. That's it.
Felony suspects released without bail, thanks to New York bail reform laws, are more likely to be rearrested for more felonies, including violent crimes, than suspects who are given bail. And that's a study that was conducted by John Jay College of Criminal Justice, okay? This is not just 2 retired detectives talking. People went out of there, they took their time out to take all the numbers and put them in and study this. And 72%, it's not 10%, it's not 20%. If it was 25%, it would be a lot. It's 72%. What they're trying to tell you is if you don't remand these people, they're going to commit a crime almost immediately.
Yeah, that means, listen, that means that every 10 violent felons that are locked up, out of every 10, 7 of them are repeat offenders, recidivism.
Yeah,
I mean, that's I mean, to put in perspective, or take 100, 70 of them out of 100. I mean, we can go on and on. I'm no mathematician, but that's pretty telling numbers as far as that goes. But listen, again, right? It's this social justice nonsense. It's all, well, they've never had a chance. They had no fault. Listen, I get angry, and even a lot of celebrities or like rappers, especially, are guilty of this. They say, well, the problem in the city, in the hood, with these boys is that they have no father. And I that's insulting to me because my dad wasn't around, and I'm not predisposed to growing up as a criminal or as a drug user or a drug dealer or a gang member, right? If you have a good mother, the problem is these kids don't have a father or a mother, right? You gotta have one, and then by default, right, in the ghetto, you gotta have grandma. Grandma's gotta pick up the slack. That's what happens in every ghetto in this country. Sorry, it's the truth. So you have kids that have grandmothers who take time to help raise them. You need one good parent. That's all you need. And I had one. The problem is these kids, it's not that they don't have a father, it's they don't have a father and they don't have a mother who gives a shit. or who cares enough, or maybe she's working too hard. I mean, listen, I can't, pretend to judge everyone or paint everybody by the same broad brush. A lot of these women have to work 2 or 3 jobs because they have deadbeat dads. So
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's a troubling time that we're in right now. And when you look at, like, there's hideous crimes going on all around us, not just, murders, but I mean, look at these two girls, two Florida women arrested after taunting, abusing elderly woman on live stream. So these were healthcare workers. They were young, 20. Her name is Shy Tonia Bishop and Jada Harris, and they went on live stream to show off to whoever, all their friends, how they were abusing this lady in their care, and they got caught. Let's see where. This is a despicable crime, and to me, they, you can't even have these people in circulation.
Shocking case of elderly abuse in Brevard County. These two teens are accused of abusing a woman with dementia and then live streaming it on social media. And deputies also say, to make matters worse, the suspects were healthcare workers trusted with keeping her safe. Fox 35's Stephanie Bufamonte has more.
I'm going to try and use restraint as I tell you about this case.
Brevard County Sheriff Wayne Ivey fuming as he describes the alleged crimes of Jada Harris and Shy Bishop. The two healthcare workers are accused of abusing a woman with dementia and live streaming the entire thing,
So that their friends could watch it, laugh about it as they mocked this elderly person in her condition. And not only did their friends laugh, they actually made comments back and forth about how she should be dealt with and be put in a closet.
So embarrassing. I'm sorry, yeah, she embarrassing. It's lock her in the closet. It's the deal.
The sheriff's office released part of the live stream video. They say it shows the two teens mocking the victim and dragging her around the room. Deputies say the victim is now safe with her family and medical health professionals.
Please keep in mind that 99.9% of healthcare providers in our country do it right. They do it because they're compassionate and they care for their patients and treat them like their own family.
Deputies say the facility called the sheriff's office as soon as they learned of the alleged abuse and fired the two suspects. They're now charged with video voyeurism and elderly abuse.
What do you think of that one? Does that upset
Well, I
you?
mean, again, right? They're savages, and this is, let's be clear, it's not because they're two young black females that they're savages. They're savages because of what they did. I put that on my social media, I want to say 1.5 years ago, when some savage white chick was taking a shit on a marked police car in Portland or something. Savage is any skin color. It has nothing to do with their skin color. It has to do with how they act. Chauvin is a savage, right? The guy that shot Trayvon Martin, I don't even want to say his name. George, you know who. Savage, right? I mean, they're savages. And, it's horrible because, a lot of times people can't care for their elderly parents or their, elderly aunts and uncles and stuff like that. And they trust these people to vet the people that they're hiring. I mean, what kind of vetting was done with these two young girls? I mean, if they're this young,
I don't think any vetting was done.
Right, exactly. They're hanging out, probably smoking weed and doing whatever they have to do.
I mean, look,
to get a check, the bare minimum.
What background? They're 19 and 21 years old.
Yeah,
Probably
no
not
background.
a lot of work history. I would imagine that it's not paying that well. What are they there to do? Clean bedpans, change sheets.
You saw them holding up a diaper, an adult diaper. I mean, it's listen, it's horrible, man.
And
It's really horrible. My
unfortunately-
daughter-in-law, my future daughter-in-law is a nurse, and I mean, she's a nurse, a bona fide nurse, and she deals with a lot of stuff. But the kid she's a salt to the earth. I mean, she doesn't say a bad thing about any of her patients. When she comes to visit us, all she talks about is how much she loves them, and cleaning up after them sometimes is hard, but she loves them and she understands that they need her help. Those are the type of people you need.
This
doing
was
this job.
this is somebody who's suffering from dementia. It sounded like it was a nursing home, and that's always those are really tricky situations, because if you can't afford a proper nursing home, and if you're not visiting on a regular basis, when I'm talking about at least a couple of times a week, somebody should be visiting. God forbid they're getting abused and they have bruises on their
Or
body.
there should be video surveillance in every room. Set up like a Ring camera and give the family access to it on their phone. Let them watch them. Listen, okay, they're going to be getting cleaned. They're going to be, so what? It's my family member. If I'm the proxy, right? If I'm in charge of their healthcare and I'm in charge of making decisions, give me a live video feed to their room. And if something goes wrong that I don't like, then I get to watch it and I get to take action on it. I mean, I don't know. That's just my opinion. I don't even know if that's done. It's just me spewing stuff out of the top of my big head. But I know I would want a camera in the room. God forbid
Let's
one of my
let's
relatives is in there.
visit the chat. Milwaukee civilian was he's gone now, but he was there at 3:01. He said he loves the grand piano. Yeah, we just got that in. I'm learning how to play.
Liberace.
Mary Goldstein. He wants Milwaukee's Willie. He wants to tell you about his favorite snack. Oh, that's hysterical. They remind you constantly about your man boobs. Yeah. Luisi says, my best friend is driving back from Henderson today from out here. Says it's 91. Yeah, it was. I wasn't kidding. See, I'm not lying.
Who said that?
She said that her best friend is driving back from where I live to Vegas,
I said, who said that?
Little Mermaid.
Oh, okay.
You can see it. It's right there in the chat.
I know. I'm going up and down. We didn't say hi to Gina G. Gina G joined us.
Hi, Gina
She's
G.
here. Hi, Gina G.
Yeah, we've been rambling. We had a lot of stories today.
Yeah, we have. Y'all are too much. They ask for millions and then give them a couple of thousand and get tons of votes. I never met you, but I wish you all the best. Peace and comfort God can provide. Victim of aggro abuse. I can tell it's not funny. Milwaukee civilian. Angel wonders how they go down the rabbit hole when he's actively digging the hole. Yeah, that's true.
Mary Goldstein, definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. They keep putting these criminals back in the street, expecting crime to go down. It's unreal. I don't know if they're really expecting crime to go down. I'm not really sure what.
I think that it's part of it is they enjoy being dependent upon the government for everything and not having to do anything productive. And then the government enjoys people depending upon them because it keeps their pockets full and it adds to their celebrity, right? Their cause, their celeb that they want.
There's an active movement around this country in blue states where they're hiring prosecutors. They have two prosecutors competing against each other. One prosecutor is very, very left, and the other one is extreme left. You're screwed either way. Look at what happened in Chicago. They just got rid of Lori Lightfoot, and they put another guy in there who's going to be as completely useless as the last one.
Did you hear what he said about not giving homework and shit, about not grading, not failing any kids? Did you hear what he said about that?
Listen, I have a different theory about that. But anyway, my point is this. It's like there has to be a reason. All I keep thinking about is what could possibly be the reason.
George Soros is trying to take over the country. That's why. And take over the world.
He's 1,000 years old. He's not going to make it to see this the end of this. It has to be
his kids.
It's maybe the.
Did you see his kid was in the White House? Wasn't that his kid that was all over the White House? They had he visited the White House like thousands of times in the last year.
Well, listen, I have no doubt that the kids are the ones pulling the strings here. I don't really think my personal opinion is I don't think it has to do with I think it has to taking over the country rather than just destroying it. But the problem is just that it would have to get destroyed through a civil war because it would have to be the red states and the blue states. We're helping them out tremendously because we're fighting two different while we're fighting crime or trying to keep crime under control, we're getting distracted by transgenders. We're getting distracted about all these, nonsense
pronouns
issues.
And shit. Yeah.
We're talking about less than 1% of the population that we're throwing the whole country up and over.
I got a question for you. First, I want to say hi to Maui Swift. Hi, Maui
Swift.
She called me a smart guy, so I'm gonna have to acknowledge her. My question is this: what do you think Al Qaeda, Boko Haram, Al Shabaab, AQAP, the Taliban? What do you think they're doing right now as they watch America rot from within and eat each other alive? What do you think they're doing?
Maybe
you think
they
they're
figured
salivating?
maybe
They're
they figured
salivating.
out a way. Maybe they're the ones funding it. Maybe they're behind it. Maybe they're part of it. Maybe it's a three-headed monster.
They are salivating and waiting for the right opportunity because we are a country full of soft targets, and they're waiting for the right opportunity to do what they got to do to get us with our pants down like they did in September 11th. It's. I mean, they have to be. Weakness again, right? I say it all the time. Weakness invites conflict. When you're weak and you project that, conflict.
Well, our youth isn't going to help because our youth is stupid. Okay, so here's one kid. This kid gets shot. He's a YouTube creator. He's shot while filming a prank in a mall food court. This is his father to tell you about it, and we could get a good look at this kid. Where is he? Work arrested for taunting, social media, Cash App. Oh, here we go. Classified goons. This kid has a YouTube page. He basically just annoys people who are just going about their business. One guy didn't have it, and he took out a gun and he shot him.
This man is a notorious prankster.
You get him? Let's get him.
21-year-old Tanner Cook's YouTube page is called Classified Goons.
Welcome back to another video.
He pranks total strangers.
I got someone who needs to be escorted out.
I need to leave?
Yes.
Sneaking up on unsuspecting people. In this prank, he wears a fake security uniform and falsely accuses shoppers of stealing.
Yeah, I've got a gentleman and a woman here trying to steal a pet.
That's not funny.
He acts like he's getting sick.
You see, the problem is that's not funny. It's a prank, but if you have people that are, let's say, for example, they're not legal citizens in this country, and they're scared to death right now because you just told them they stole something. And they think the cops are going to come. That's not funny. You're talking about getting. So this guy, he's walking through the mall, minding his own business. He gets a phone shoved in his face. The prank was had something to do with the language. Speaking in other languages. The app that you could do it on the phone. This kid, this guy, Alan Coley, who works. He's a DoorDash guy. He looks like a stoner. Probably minding his own freaking business, going through the mall. This guy keeps shoving the phone in his face. He took out a gun and shot him. So,
lucky he didn't kill him. He's lucky he didn't kill him. How many times you see this shit on social media? You're like, this guy's gonna get killed. There was one that was going around. Right, there was one that was going around where the guy would come from around the corner and you couldn't see who's on the other side, and then they would pop a balloon or something, and then the guy would run or fall to the ground, and then people would take off. And then there was one where they showed where a guy pulled a gun out and ran up to shoot the shooter and defend the guy that got shot. And then they were like, oh, it's a prank. It's a prank. It's stupid. It's only a matter of time for one of these dummies gets killed.
Yeah, well, that brings me to this thing because sometimes you need a lesson. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to play the lesson. If you don't know, you might have to find out right
Today
now.
we're going to talk about how we can find out and how much we can find out and what it takes to get there. So first we have to decide how much do we want to find out. So let's say in this case, I want to find out at a level of 7. Okay, so I find that level on my graph and I come horizontally to my gradient line. Where it intersects with my gradient line, I'm going to come straight down to where it intersects with my fuck around line. Now there's going to tell me how much I have to fuck around to find out. So as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
Mary Goldstein said it. Fafo. It's my favorite lesson. Fuck around and find out. Oh, that's it, man. Fafo.
That kid,
I love it.
He wanted to fuck around and he found out. He went to 10.
Ryan Investigative Group jumped in the chat. Hello, Ryan.
What's
hello,
up, Bill?
Hello. Bill, sorry.
Speaking about fucking around and finding out, this lady right here, Las Vegas woman, this one happened here, right around the corner. Las Vegas woman nabbed on child abuse warrant after teen dies doing skateboarding trick on her car. So she was hanging out with these young kids. I don't know what she's doing with these young kids anyway. She had like 3 of them in the car, plus another girl. Maybe it's the aunt or something. And this kid right here, this poor kid, he wants to ride his skateboard and hold on to the back of her car. So she says, no, I'm not going to let you do it. But there's a 19-year-old girl in the car with them, the kid's aunt or something like that. And she says, oh, let me drive. Now, she's been smoking pot and she's been drinking. And she's also unlicensed. So she gets behind the wheel. And guess what happens? She starts driving, and they ran something over. They thought it was a bump. It turned out it was the kid, and they ran over his head. 15 years old, he's dead. And but she's the adult in this situation. She's 36 years old, and she's hanging out with kids. I don't understand what's going on here. She's got to be related. But your responsibility there is to be the adult in this situation and not let them do stupid stuff.
Yeah, well, apparently the gap between the adults being smart, the adults in the room and the kids is not that big of a gap. I mean, we see it all the time, right? How many teachers we see, these stupid-ass teachers in their 30s and their 40s, sexting, 15-year-old kids and having sex with them.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100%.
And what gets me angry about that is you'll see comments, oh, where was my hot teacher when I was 15? Listen, if it's done to a girl by a male teacher, it pisses me off. And if it's done to a boy by a female teacher, it's just as bad. It's not cool because she's a hot teacher. It's not cool. They're taking kids' innocence. And that innocence could never be given back. Never, ever.
I agree with you. It's kind of sort of, it throws off everything. This is somebody as an authority figure who all of a sudden I'm starting to get not only know on a personal level, which is a little weird, but now getting to know on an intimate level when I'm not even of age. I used to say the same thing that you just said right now. You know me, I joke around about everything, but when it comes to my kids, not really. So when somebody brought that up one time about, oh, what happened if that was your son? I was like, well, I'd have to, I'm gonna beat the crap out of the teacher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Male or female, somebody's
Exactly.
getting because that's not your place. You're there as an authority figure. You're there to teach the kids, not
Taking their innocence, man.
Speaking of stupid kids, 7 arrested.
Look at these 3. Holy.
7 arrested. This is another one of those street takeovers, but luckily, this time the police were onto it. They got the heads up. They got a heads up. Say it received information that streetcar clubs were planning an intersection takeover near Jupiter Farms and Indiantown Road on Friday, and they waited. They waited there for them, and sure enough, the kids showed up, and they got collared. They wound up taking, I think, 6 or 7 cars, but unfortunately, they have something over here where they can only hold the car for 6 days, or one of them is being held for 30 days. I like when they hold the car for a long time. That's the way you listen as a child, as a kid.
That's what I did to my son when he screwed up. I kept his car for a month. So
yeah,
teach him consequences.
Oh yeah, there has to be, and these are the kids right here, and this is part of the it's some crew, huh? But the problem is with this is that this isn't a violent crime. This is just racing. They watch the movies. What's that stupid movie that they just? I think
Fast and the Furious. Part 15.
Yeah, and they watch this stuff and they think it's real and they want to go out and do it. The whole thing is your police department has to stay on top of it because it's only going to happen once with these kids. These kids are going to go out there. They're going to get their cars taken. And the next time they do it, they're not going to do it because they can't afford to get their car taken. That's the only car they have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so good job by that police department there.
Absolutely. Definitely.
And, what do we got here? We had a lot of stories. We're doing
Mary Goldstein.
Well.
Fast X, Fast 10, baby. Like, stupid. The fucking. I'm so tired of those Fast and Furious movies. They're so ridiculous and so unrealistic. I hate them.
They have no basis in reality. But
I hate them.
Imagine being like The Rock or the other guy,
Vin Diesel.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody tells me. A lot of people tell me that if Vin Diesel and The Rock had a son, then it would be me.
There you go. That's true. It's funny. Look at this idiot. Wait, is this the guy? No, look at this idiot right here. This guy, he goes to jail. Man is cleared of life sentence, but quickly ends up right where he started. Now, this guy was convicted of a shooting. In 2012, Grant was convicted of killing a 28-year-old Aaron Shehorn, who was stabbed outside a Houston bar. But fast forward many years later, 15 years later, he gets exonerated because they tested DNA under the deceased fingernails, and it came back to another person who wound up saying, yeah, I did it. He was in custody already. Carter was tracked down in Atlanta, where he was in custody for unrelated charges, and he confessed to the killing. He then pleaded guilty to the murder. Now, you figure this idiot, right? He finally gets out of jail. He didn't commit the crime, right? He can't even be out in the street because you know what? Howard Stern used to say this on the radio all the time. You might not be guilty for what you're in jail for, but you're guilty of something. So he might not have done that murder, but he was a career knucklehead, and that's why they picked him out. Because look at this. He's not even out on jail. I don't know. Is it even a year? Houston police say Lindo Grant, 46, is accused of fatally shooting a fellow motorist, identified as a 33-year-old Edwin Arvalo, following a minor roadway collision on Thursday, April 6th. Police reported that the vehicle collided Thursday. Grant got out of his vehicle, shot Averano, and then fled the scene. Grant was taken into custody on Friday after a warrant was issued for arrest. Now, wouldn't you think, after all those years in prison, two things. Either he wanted to go back to prison, he didn't like it out here in the street, he was institutionalized, he was just looking for an excuse, or he's a criminal anyway, and they just happened to pinch him on the wrong thing originally. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Like you said, look, you're guilty of something. I think institutionalized is probably the right word, right? A lot of times these people do stupid shit. This is where, I mean, not in this case, but this is, I think, what bail reform was initially meant, right? When you have kids that are locked up for shoplifting and they can't make $5,000 bail, so they spend 60 days in Rikers Island with rapists and murderers, and they become institutionalized, right? It'll take only 3 weeks to institutionalize somebody, right? It says that the body or the mind, it only takes them 21 days. It only takes it 21 days to get used to a certain way of life or tragedy or anything. So all it takes is 21 days, and you could be institutionalized in 21 days. So, I mean, I don't know. He's stupid, right? He had a second chance at life, and look, he ends up screwing it up and shoots and kills a Hispanic driver because he's racist, right? Because, I mean, he was black and the guy was Hispanic. So all we have to base it on is skin color, according to these dummies in Tennessee, in the the politicians who were stripped of their membership, I think, to the House, because it's got to be racism. It can't be anything else.
Yeah, man, those guys got voted the fuck out, man. Listen, you're a politician right now. You can't go out and start. You can protest. Politicians go out there and they walk, they hold hand in hand with everybody, but you can't go out there and commit crimes while you're protesting. Not in Tennessee. In New York City, you can get away with it. In DC, you can get away with it. In California,
every job has rules.
You're not going to get away with it in Tennessee.
And Kamala went to Tennessee.
The first time she ever said anything.
And guess who she visited? Did she visit the police officers who ran in and stopped the shooter? Did she visit any of the Christian families who were victims? No. She went to visit the Tennessee Three, as she cackled the other day when she gave him the moniker of the Tennessee Three.
Well, they're not going to change anything over there, that's for sure. They're barking up the wrong tree. Those people held on.
But why does this, and they're blatant about it, why doesn't this administration call it what it is? It was attack on Christianity, the shooting. Why don't they pin a medal on the chest of the... Listen, cops don't do shit for recognition, right? It's not what we do it. But it's just to point out their hypocrisy.
This thing was a distraction for them. Okay, it was a
Yeah.
speed bump on the road to where they need to get with all this nonsense that they're pushing. They're force feeding down half of America's throats. So that's what it was. It was a speed bump. It was an inconvenient speed bump that we have to get past, and we can't be getting rid of, and we can't be firing politicians that got voted in. That's the most fiery speech she gave in the whole 2.5 years. You know, it was coherent. She was actually speaking off the top of her head, not repeating the same word 1,000 times. She didn't make a word salad out of it. But she, it's a little bit too late now. They're going to use that speech though to keep her in politics because she was literally on the way out. All right, listen, we got 10 more minutes. Let's finish up here. Florida sheriff says canine tackled burglary suspect who shot deputy 3 times. This guy, what was it? What was the car? It was a burglar. Yeah, it was a burglar. And this is Taco. That's the dog Taco right there. Taco saved the deputy's life. The
Nice.
deputy got shot 3 times, but Taco went after the burglar and held him. So we talk about Los Angeles. They want to get rid of, or they're in the process of getting rid of, or not being able to use canine to track down perps. That's a perfect situation of why you need them.
Can I tell you how, like, it's a tragedy when an officer gets shot or killed, right? And obviously it's like one of the worst tragedies you can imagine. But when they kill a police dog or they stab a police dog, I can't, like, I literally break down and cry, because you see
don't do that now.
They have their pictures, right? The picture that they take for their ID, and it's just their face, right? They're innocent. They don't know what, like, I'm here to do work, daddy and mommy. Like, I'm here to catch the bad guy, and they're excited, and they're an invaluable tool, man. They really, really are.
Okay, so this guy, he's a Florida man. He's with his girlfriend in the car. They get into an argument. I don't know what happens. She decides to jump out of the car on the highway, and she lands, and she dies. The guy, he can't get off the highway right at that point. He's on a highway. He's trying to get over, and he can't, so he gets off at the next exit. Now, here's the big problem. This is your face. So this is why you don't get tattoos on your face.
Savage.
Because God forbid you get into a situation where there could be reasonable doubt. He didn't push her. He's driving. She jumped out. She was really pissed. She didn't realize how fast the car was going, maybe. But now you walk into court with all these stupid things on your face. And if I'm on the jury, I'm like, this guy's guilty. You know what I'm saying?
She must have been a Latina, because only Latinas threaten to jump out of a moving car. So either she was a Latina, she jumped out because she was like, I'm not taking this anymore. I'm jumping out of the car. I hate you. Or he pushed her out. My money is that he pushed her out of the car.
But once again,
or she was threatening. She was like opening the door and was like, I'm going to jump. And he was like, get the fuck out of here. And he pushed
luckily for Mr. Face Tattoo, a witness driving behind Ayala confirmed his account of what happened.
What?
Yeah, he was driving behind. He said he saw this freaking door open and this lady jump out. So he might get off, face tattoos and all. But he looks worried right there. With his eyes, what is he telling you?
I gotta get it.
He says his eyes are saying, I wish I didn't have these face tattoos.
I got to get into an argument with Peggy in the Hellcat. See if she tries to jump out when I'm doing 140 miles an hour when she gets pissed off.
No, don't do that. What do we got left? Okay, here we go. Oh, we did this one already. This is a really sad one, man. I don't really like, but it just goes to show you, because this is a Gen Z, and nothing's safe. A Virginia woman visiting Washington, D.C. for a concert has died after being stabbed to death by a stranger at a hotel in an attack where she suffered 30 sharp force injuries. The perp in this is George Sindor Jr. is now facing first-degree murder charge. This is the beautiful young girl, Christy Batista. She was described by her aunt as someone who brought joy to everybody who knew her. It's a shame. And what's the biggest shame is we talked about this prior. 72% of the people that are being let go on felony crimes, violent crimes, are going to commit another one immediately. And when we look at this guy's record, he has quite some record, apparently. I'm trying to look at it. Maybe I got the wrong slide here, but either way, rest in peace to that poor girl. She was there in Washington, D.C. to see a concert, and she was staying at a hotel. This guy supposedly pulled up on his bicycle, was looking in the window, knocked on the door. Maybe there was somebody staying in that hotel room prior to her being there. Sounds to me like this is a motel, where the rooms are on the first floor. And whoever was staying in that room, probably he had a beef with or a problem with, and he went to go settle it, and she answers the door. So that's really sad. You can't see. That's the thing. What do we cover tonight? We covered a billionaire walking down the street, getting stabbed in the chest. This poor woman going to see a concert in Washington, getting stabbed up. It's just another guy driving, minding his own business, gets into a car accident. It's an accident. It's called an accident because it's not an on purpose. I didn't hit your car on purpose. You don't expect somebody to come out with a gun and shoot you because you got into a car accident.
Horrible. Men's inhumanity to men.
Let's visit the chat before we say goodnight. Jojo says Gavin Newsom wants to get rid of canine officers in California. He sure does. There's a bill up before him that he'll definitely sign. He won't get rid of. The dogs will still be able to sniff out drugs and explosive, but they won't be able to go chase after perps. That's what they want to do over there.
Raquel says she's taking Biden's meds. I think she's talking about Kamala, whatever the fuck her name is. Yeah, I agree. Your husband says Kamala will be president shortly. Oh yeah. We're gonna go from the frying pan into the fire. What if Angel got a buzz cut and tattooed his head? A buzz cut of what? I have no hair to buzz cut. Luisa says I ain't jumping out of no car because I said Latinas are crazy. Raquel says I tell Pete anything over 120 in his Viper with me in it is a no-no. I tell him to take a ride alone. Pete, we got a race, man. You got a Viper. I got that's a Dodge also. We got to see what Mopar muscle is about. Peter agrees with me.
Over 120?
Yeah.
Wow, Raquel. Yeah. My girlfriend, if I go over 80 miles an hour, she gets pissed.
Yeah, my wife doesn't. If I go over 80, she's like, stop, you're going too fast.
Yeah.
Viper's a Dodge, so we got to see what's up. Mopar or no car. Mark and Angel, you have some great crimes tonight. Thank you, honey. Appreciate that.
Yeah, there
the
was
hour
a lot
goes by so quick.
There was a lot of stories this week. You got to see the amount of slides I had here. I think we covered it all, though. I know we rushed a little bit. Let me just.
Mary wants me to get my head tattooed to make it look like I have hair. Not happening, kid. Terry Lynn Hellberg. Wait, hold on. There's a lot you don't know. She came in late. Thank you for joining us. She's Raquel's BFF, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, what else? What do you got coming up? You have anything coming up?
I got First Responders Night tomorrow in Halligan's in Warwick, New York. $40 open bar and contributing to my school board campaign. So if you could make it, come on over and support your boy.
If I was there, I would have definitely come. Say it one more time. You should have you been posting it on your social media?
I posted it today. I didn't do it on my Instagram, but it's on my Facebook, so you can go check it out. I got a Dodge Caravan.
Who said that?
Louisa. Look at Raquel. She goes 90 in her Beamer. Nice.
Yeah.
Mopar's rule. Yeah. So that's what I got going on. I got that. Somebody reached out to me to see if I'm willing to help out on this what they got going against Bragg because they're subpoenaing him because of what's been going on with Trump. So I offered my assistance in testifying against what he's doing to the city. So we'll see if they use me. But that's it.
It's an interesting thing that's happening right now with that case.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see what happens. It's been another episode of The Week in Crime and Policing with Mayo and Mayso. We covered a lot of stories this week. We had quite a few people in the chat. I want to thank you for being in the chat. If you haven't, can you please subscribe to the channel? Also, Angel is pointing out Big Rican at Instagram.com or Instagram.
Big Rican man. Big Rican man.
Okay.
Him. Big Rican man.
Big Rican man at Instagram.com. And if you haven't, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit us up on Instagram, and what else? We got a Facebook page. We have a TikTok. And believe it or not, I just got a Photoshop, and I have Adobe Premiere for editing, and I'm getting immersed at learning this stuff. So stay tuned. I'm going to be creating some art, graphic design art, and once I start learning how to use it, we're gonna have a really, really nice create. Even though Mayo and Mesa that we have right there is pretty nice, I'll make another one for us. And any parting words, Angel?
That's it. Love you guys, all of you. Thanks for joining us. Bendiciones. Everybody stay safe, stay frosty, and situational awareness always. Adios.
All right. Bye, everybody. See you next week.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye.